It's been a bizarre 2023 and a lot of circumstance at the return of the European Super League from the dead, Birmingham City appointing Wayne Rooney, Kenilworth Road as a Premier League venue, the list goes on. But as a late Christmas gift for 2023, the National Archives has released several documents from former UK Prime Ministers, including Tony Blair. Now, a lot of them are irrelevant to this channel, but according to one of these papers, Tony Blair wanted to move Wimbledon Football Club over 300 miles away to Belfast, Northern Ireland. So for context, this started as a note which is backdated to 1997, a year before the Good Friday Agreement brought an end to the Troubles. The idea was to have a cross-community football team to build a unifying force for the city. The note suggests that Wimbledon Football Club, whom at the time was owned by Sam Haman and was homeless playing at Selhurst Park instead of Plough Lane, Wimbledon's traditional home, after the Taylor Report considered it unsafe given what happened at the Hillsborough disaster. Wimbledon at the time were a Premier League outfit playing at Crystal Palace's Selhurst Park. There was a plan to turn the dog track Wimbledon Stadium to be redeveloped into a multi-sport venue hosting both football and dog racing, though Merton Council reportedly refused to release the land. I mention this because New Plough Lane is built on the site of the former Wimbledon Stadium. The note from 1997 had some government support, but when the Good Friday Agreement was signed, a memo dated the 16th of July 1998 indicated that then Prime Minister Sir Tony Blair was keen on the idea. At the time, there were several strange ideas regarding the future of Wimbledon Football Club, including not just a move to Belfast, but a potential move to the city of Dublin, the capital of the Republic of Ireland. Of course, it was the move to the new town of Milton Keynes that won out in the end. Northern Ireland had and still does have its own footballing infrastructure. I'm sure clubs like Linfield, Cliftonville and Glentoran would have loved the idea of having a Premier League football club vying for their supporters. Note the sarcasm. Unfortunately for Mr. Blair and other ministers that supported this plan, one key figure that did not support this plan, and arguably one of the most key figures and most important figures in the Good Friday Agreement, the government's own Secretary of State for Northern Ireland, Mo Molan, she did not think the idea was, quote, particularly safe. It shows that these politicians had little to no understanding of football, the passion of the fans, the connections these clubs have with their communities, especially further down the footballing pyramid you go. As the then Irish FA President Jim Boyce told the BBC near the time, quote, "It would have killed local football and the people who put so much work into local football at the time, and the spectators of local clubs, they just have obviously no interest in this whatsoever." I think it's quite honestly a publicity stunt, as was proved, as I said at the time when this was discussed, that Wimbledon were in the Premier League. Yes, to many people who weren't local football fans, of course, it would have been nice to see Manchester United, Liverpool and Spurs possibly coming to Northern Ireland. But what would happen in a few years' time when they weren't in the Premier League, just as happened to other clubs? To me, honestly, it was just a total pie in the sky, and I'm glad Mo Molan put a stop to it, as it was people trying to create publicity. In the end, Wimbledon was moved to Milton Keynes, which the club announced in 2001 and was given permission to relocate by 2002. By that time, a new club, continuing the spirit of the Crazy Gang, AFC Wimbledon, was formed and would rocket up the non-league back into the EFL eventually. And the old Wimbledon, what was left of Wimbledon Football Club, did move to Milton Keynes in 2003. They were in administration before being bought out by the people that masterminded this move to Milton Keynes, and from 2004, Milton Keynes Dons were formed and took Wimbledon's place in the footballing pyramid.